What if I told you that one of the most normal-looking quarters in your change could actually be worth tens of thousands of dollars? That's right, a 25-cent coin you might have spent on gum or tossed into your piggy bank could be worth $63,000, $95,000, or maybe even up to $100,000. Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. There is a rare version of the 1965 Washington quarter that is so valuable, collectors all over the world are on the hunt for it. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what to look for. So don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you might just want to dig through your old change jars or call your grandparents to check their coin stash. So what's so special about the 1965 quarter? First, let's understand a little history. Before 1965, quarters in the US were made from 90% real silver. That means if you had a 1964 quarter or anything earlier, it was made mostly from silver, which has real value. But in 1965, the US Mint stopped using silver for quarters and started making them out of a mix of copper and nickel, a cheaper metal. These new coins are called clad coins, and most 1965 quarters are made this way. So they're not rare. In fact, hundreds of millions of them were made. But here's where it gets interesting. During the switch in 1965, the US Mint made a mistake. A few silver blanks, that's the blank metal disc before it becomes a coin, were left over from 1964 and accidentally used to make 1965 quarters. So now, we have a super rare situation. A few 1965 quarters were struck on the old silver metal instead of the new copper-nickel mix. And that makes these coins extremely valuable because they are not supposed to exist. Imagine finding a coin that looks like a regular 1965 quarter, but it's actually made of silver, the same silver they used the year before. That's like finding a golden ticket in your wallet. These error coins are called 1965 silver planchet error quarters, and only a few of them have ever been found. When they show up at auction, they sell for big money. Some have sold for $5,000, others for $10,000 or more. And experts believe that a top-quality example, maybe one in perfect shape, could reach $63,000 or even $95,000. Some even think a unique, one-of-a-kind version could be worth up to $100,000. That's the price of a car or even a small house in some places. So how can you tell if you have one of these rare 1965 silver quarters? First, you can check the coin's weight. Regular 1965 quarters made of copper-nickel weigh about 5.67 grams. But the silver ones are a little heavier, they weigh about 6.25 grams. That's less than 1 gram difference, but it matters. You'll need a good digital scale to tell. Second, look at the edge of the coin. Modern quarters have a copper-colored edge. But silver quarters are all silver, no copper line. So if you see a 1965 quarter that has a solid silver edge, no copper strip, you might have something valuable. Third, listen to the sound. It might sound strange, but real silver coins make a higher-pitched ring when you tap them compared to regular coins. But don't rely only on the sound, it's not 100% accurate. Some of these rare 1965 quarters also have something called a double die error. That means when the coin was made, the design was stamped twice, slightly off, so you can see doubling in the words or numbers. For example, you might see two outlines in the word liberty or in God we trust. This kind of mistake can make a coin even more valuable, especially if it's combined with the silver metal error. The most trusted way to know if your coin is real and valuable is to send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These are companies that check your coin under expert tools and can tell you if it's a real silver planchet error. They also give your coin a grade, based on how perfect it looks. Coins in better condition are always worth more. A rare coin in perfect condition is what collectors dream about, and those are the ones that can go for $63,000, $75,000, or more at auction. But be careful. A lot of people get excited and think they have a rare coin, when really it's just a regular one. Just because a coin looks old or shiny doesn't make it special. The real value comes from verified errors and condition. There are also scams online. Some people try to sell fake silver 1965 quarters to trick buyers. Always do your research and get coins graded by professionals before spending or selling big money. Now you might be wondering, are these coins really selling for that much? The answer is yes, some of them are. One example of a real 1965 silver quarter sold for over $7,800 at auction. Another sold for $5,462, and these weren't even perfect coins. They had some wear. So imagine what a perfectly clean, shiny, silver 1965 quarter could sell for. That's where collectors start dreaming of $63,000 or even $100,000. It's not guaranteed, of course, but in the world of coin collecting, anything can happen when something is truly rare and in demand. So what should you do now? Check your old coins. Look at your 1965 quarters. Weigh them if you can. Look at the edges. See if they look different than your regular coins. If you think you have something strange, take it to a local coin shop or send it to a grading service. Even if it's not worth tens of thousands, it could still be worth hundreds or even a few $1,000s. And that's a lot more than 25 cents. So there you have it. A simple quarter from 1965, if it has the right kind of mistake, could be one of the most valuable coins in your entire collection. It's a true hidden treasure, one that proves rare coins can still be found in the wild today. Maybe your lucky coin is sitting right in front of you. So check your change, and good luck treasure hunting. Have you ever looked at a penny from 1941 and thought, it's just another old coin? Well, don't throw it away just yet. Because that little wheat penny sitting in your drawer, hiding in a coin jar, or stuck at the bottom of your couch could actually be worth hundreds, thousands, or in some rare cases, even tens of thousands of dollars. Yes, a single 1941 penny could turn into a small fortune if you know what to look for. Imagine this. You're sorting through old change, maybe something passed down from your parents or grandparents, and you pull out a brown, dusty penny. It says 1941 on the front, with Abraham Lincoln's face, and on the back, it has those two classic wheat stalks, the famous wheat penny. You almost ignore it, until you remember this video. Could this be the one? Could this little coin be your lucky jackpot? Well, after you hear what makes the 1941 wheat penny so valuable, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Let's talk about where it all started. The wheat penny was first made in 1909, to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. It was the first U.S. coin to ever show a real person. The design stayed in use until 1958, and collectors today love it because it's simple, classic, and full of history. The year 1941 is right in the middle of this era, and it came at a time when the world was about to change. 1941 was the year before the United States entered World War II. The country was preparing for war, and the economy was shifting fast. That year, the U.S. Mint made a huge number of pennies, over 887 million in Philadelphia, 128 million in Denver, marked with AD, and 92 million in San Francisco, marked with an S. So yes, the 1941 penny is not the rarest in terms of how many were made. But here's where things get exciting. While most 1941 wheat pennies are common, some are extremely rare and valuable because of their condition, mint errors, and unusual metal types. And these rare ones are the reason people have paid up to $10,000, $20,000, even $50,000 or more for a single penny at auction. Let's start with condition. Most wheat pennies from 1941 are brown, worn out, and full of scratches. But if you find one that looks brand new, shiny, red-colored, with no marks, that's called a mint state coin. Collectors look for coins in MS65, MS66, or even MS67 plus condition. These high grades mean the coin was never used, and that makes it very rare today. For example, a 1941 penny from Philadelphia, graded MS68 red, the highest grade possible, sold for more than $9,000 at auction. And it was just a regular penny, no errors, no rare metal, just a perfect condition coin. The same goes for the 1941 D and 1941 S. In top condition, they can sell for $5,000 to $15,000 or more. Only a few of these exist today because most people use them in daily life. But now let's talk about the real treasure, the error coins. These are pennies that were made with mistakes at the mint. And when collectors find these, the value can skyrocket. One of the most valuable types of error is the double die. This happens when the coin design is stamped twice, slightly off, creating a double image. On a 1941 penny, you might see the doubling on the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," or even the numbers in the date, 1941. If you see a penny like this, do not spend it, it could be worth thousands. One example of a double-die 1941 penny sold for over $5,000, and even lower-grade ones can bring in hundreds. Another type of error is a repunched mint mark, or RPM. This happens when the mint mark, like A, D or S, was stamped more than once, but not in the same spot. You'll see the D or S slightly doubled or shadowed. Collectors love these because they're clear signs of mint mistakes. Some 1941 D and 1941 S RPM coins have sold for $100 to $1,000, depending on how strong the doubling is and what condition the coin is in. Then we have off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't lined up correctly when it was stamped. Some are just a little off, worth $20 to $50, but others are way off, with a missing part of the design, and those can sell for $500 to $2,000. If you find a 1941 wheat penny that looks off or strange in any way, check it carefully. It might be something special. Now here's one of the rarest and most valuable types of 1941 pennies, wrong planchet errors. That's when the penny was struck on the wrong type of metal. In very rare cases, a 1941 penny was struck on a dime planchet or a foreign coin blank. These are extremely hard to find, but if you do, you might be holding a coin worth $20,000 or more. Collectors pay big money for these types of coins because they're so unusual. They're 1 in a million mistakes, and they're nearly impossible to fake. Most of them have been found by people who were just paying attention to weird-looking coins in their change. So what should you do if you have a 1941 penny? First, look at the condition. Is it clean, shiny, and red? Does it look brand new, with no scratches or wear? If yes, that's a great start. Next, check the mint mark. Is it a plain 1941? Or does it have a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco? Look closely to see if the mint mark looks strange or doubled. Then check the design. Are any letters or numbers doubled? Is the coin off-center? Does the shape or color look different than normal? If anything seems off, that's a good thing, it could be a rare error. And if you think your coin might be special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll check it, grade it, and seal it in a case. That way, if it's rare or valuable, collectors will know it's real and you could sell it for serious cash. The best part? Many people have found valuable 1941 wheat pennies in jars, rolls, or even in pocket change. These coins are out there and they are still being found. So don't ignore that old penny. Look at it. Study it. Because it might just be worth more than you ever imagined. A simple coin, a penny from 1941, could be the key to a big payday. Some people have sold rare ones for more than $10,000. Others for even more. And it all starts with just paying attention.